Alaska, the largest U.S. state, is geographically separated from the contiguous United States. It relies heavily on transit through Canada, particularly British Columbia, for essential goods, services, and tourism. This geographic reality has historically necessitated a cooperative relationship between the two countries. However, recent political events have strained this long-standing agreement, leading to unprecedented actions by both nations. The Alaska Highway, completed in 1942, stands as a testament to the historical cooperation between the U.S. and Canada. This vital artery, stretching over 1,387 miles, connects Alaska to the rest of the U.S. through British Columbia. Over the decades, this route has facilitated trade, tourism, and cultural exchange. However, the recent imposition of tolls by Canada on this crucial passage has sparked controversy and ignited tensions between the two countries. This decision, while rooted in economic and political complexities, has had a direct impact on the lives of everyday Alaskans and Canadians alike. The tolls represent a significant departure from the historical norm and signal a potential turning point in U.S. Canada relations. On March 6, 2025, a significant announcement was made that would reverberate through the corridors of international trade and diplomacy. British Columbia Premier John Horgan announced the implementation of tolls on all commercial vehicles traveling to Alaska through the province. This bold move was seen as a direct countermeasure to the escalating trade tensions that had been brewing for years. This move, unprecedented in recent history, came as a direct response to escalating trade tensions with the United States, primarily driven by former President Donald Trump. The tolls were not just a financial measure, but a political statement, reflecting the growing frustration and determination of Canadian leaders to protect their national interests. Trump, known for his aggressive trade policies and rhetoric, had previously imposed tariffs on Canadian goods, sparking a trade war between the two nations. His administration's actions had a profound impact on the economic landscape, leading to a series of retaliatory measures from Canada. He had also publicly threatened to annex Canada through economic force, further straining diplomatic relations. These threats were not taken lightly by Canadian officials, who saw them as a direct challenge to their sovereignty and economic stability. The tolls, according to Premier Horgan, were a necessary measure to protect Canadian economic interests and respond to what Canada perceived as unfair trade practices by the United States. Horgan emphasized that this was not just about money, but about standing up for Canadian values and ensuring a fair playing field for all. The revenue generated from the tolls, Horgan stated, would be used to support Canadian businesses and workers adversely affected by the trade war. This included funding for small businesses, job training programs, and other initiatives aimed at bolstering the Canadian economy. This decision by Canada marked a significant escalation in the trade dispute, signaling a willingness to leverage its geographic importance to protect its interests. The strategic location of British Columbia as a gateway to Alaska made the tolls a powerful tool in the ongoing trade negotiations. The tolls, however, have had far-reaching consequences, impacting not only trade but also the social fabric and daily lives of people on both sides of the border. Communities that once thrived on cross-border commerce found themselves grappling with new economic realities, and the human cost of the trade war became increasingly apparent. The story of these tolls is not just about economics, but about the resilience and adaptability of the people affected by these sweeping changes. Donald Trump, despite no longer being in office, wasted no time in voicing his displeasure at Canada's decision to impose tolls on Alaska-bound traffic. The former president, known for his unfiltered and often provocative communication style, took to his favorite platform, Twitter, to express his outrage. His reaction was swift and unambiguous, reflecting his characteristic approach to international disputes. True to form, his outrage played out on social media, where he has millions of followers who eagerly await his every word. Trump's tweets are known for their directness and often incendiary nature, and this instance was no different. With a barrage of tweets condemning the move as an attack on American sovereignty and a betrayal by Prime Minister Trudeau, Trump did not hold back. He accused the Canadian government of undermining the United States and specifically targeted Trudeau, calling him weak and untrustworthy. Trump's tweets, laden with inflammatory language and accusations, further inflamed the situation. His words were not just a critique, but a call to action. urging his followers to stand against what he described as an unjust and hostile act by a neighboring country. He accused Canada of holding Alaska hostage and called for retaliatory measures, including increased tariffs on Canadian goods and a boycott of Canadian products. Trump's rhetoric was designed to rally his base and put pressure on the current administration to take a hard stance against Canada. While his pronouncements no longer carried the weight of the presidency, Trump's words continued to resonate with his base, and had the potential to influence public opinion and political discourse. His supporters, many of whom remained fiercely loyal, echoed his sentiments and amplified his message across various social media platforms. His calls for retaliation, though lacking any official authority, added fuel to the fire and made finding a diplomatic solution even more challenging. The situation was already tense, and Trump's involvement only served to heighten the stakes, making it harder for cooler heads to prevail. Trump's social media outbursts, while not surprising, highlighted the volatile nature of the situation and the need for cooler heads to prevail. His influence, even from the sidelines, was a reminder of the power of social media in shaping public perception and political narratives. His continued involvement, even from the sidelines, threatened to further escalate tensions and complicate efforts to find a mutually agreeable resolution. The international community watched closely, aware that Trump's words, though unofficial, could still have significant repercussions on the delicate balance of diplomatic relations. The imposition of tolls on Alaska-bound traffic has had a profound impact on the state's economy. These tolls, introduced as a measure to generate revenue, have inadvertently created a ripple effect that has touched nearly every aspect of life in Alaska. From the cost of living to the viability of businesses, the repercussions are far-reaching and complex, and the daily lives of its residents. Alaska, heavily reliant on Canada for the transportation of goods, has experienced significant price increases on essential commodities. The cost of everyday items like groceries and fuel has surged, making it harder for families to make ends meet. This has led to a tightening of household budgets and a reduction in discretionary spending, further straining the local economy. Businesses, particularly those in the tourism and fishing industries, have been hit hard. The fishing industry, a cornerstone of Alaska's economy, has seen reduced profitability due to increased transportation costs. This has made it difficult for fishermen to compete in the market, leading to lower incomes and, in some cases, the closure of long-standing family businesses. The increased cost of transporting goods has cut into profit margins, forcing some businesses to raise prices or reduce their workforce. Small businesses, which form the backbone of many Alaskan communities, are particularly vulnerable. Owners are faced with tough decisions, such as laying off employees or even shutting down operations entirely. This has led to a rise in unemployment and economic instability in regions already struggling with limited job opportunities. The tourism sector, a major contributor to Alaska's economy, has seen a decline in visitors as potential tourists reconsider travel plans due to the added expense. Hotels, restaurants, and tour operators have reported a significant drop in bookings, leading to a decrease in revenue. This downturn has not only affected business owners, but also seasonal workers who rely on tourism for their livelihood. The tolls have also impacted the social fabric of communities along the border. These towns, which once thrived on cross-border interactions, now find themselves isolated. Community events that used to draw crowds from both sides of the border are now sparsely attended, leading to a sense of loss and disconnection among residents. Alaskans, accustomed to easy access to Canada for leisure and family visits, now face an added financial burden and bureaucratic hurdles. The once simple act of visiting relatives or enjoying a weekend getaway has become a costly and time-consuming endeavor. This has strained personal relationships and limited cultural exchanges that were once a vibrant part of life in these border communities. The flow of people between the two countries, once seamless and frequent, has slowed to a trickle, impacting personal relationships and cultural exchanges. Festivals and cultural events that celebrated the shared heritage of border communities have seen dwindling participation, eroding the rich tapestry of cultural life that once flourished here. The economic and social consequences of the tolls have been felt most acutely in border towns like Skagway, Alaska. These towns, which once bustled with activity and commerce, now face a stark reality of empty streets and shuttered businesses. The decline in cross-border traffic has led to a reduction in local revenue, making it difficult for these communities to sustain themselves. Once bustling with Canadian visitors, these towns have experienced a sharp decline in tourism, leading to job losses and business closures. The vibrant local economies that depended on a steady stream of tourists now struggle to survive, with many businesses unable to weather the downturn. The tolls have cast a long shadow over Alaska, creating uncertainty and hardship for many. As the state grapples with these challenges, the resilience and adaptability of its residents will be crucial in navigating this difficult period. The hope is that through community support and innovative solutions, Alaska can overcome these obstacles and emerge stronger.